Go ahead, B.
Oh, we're starting with that? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I thought we started with that now.
I usually do some kind of lead up. Okay. Yeah. So the way I do our theme song reflects how I feel about the film, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm do it. So I am drowning. There is no sign of land. You are coming down with me. Sand and unlovable Sandler, and I hope you die. I hope we both die.
Thank you, V. Welcome to Into the Sandlerverse, Sand and Unlovable Sandler with Oak and V. How are you doing today, V?
You're supposed to say I'm Oak.
I'm Oak.
I'm V.
It's been a couple of weeks. I've completely lost the format.
Forgot how to do
Today,
every podcast.
yeah, it's true. Today we're talking about The Waterboy, Adam Sandler's fourth film, 1998, directed by Frank Karachi, and written by both Adam Sandler and, once again, Tim Herlihy. V, what'd you think of The Waterboy?
Not bad.
I'll say it.
Plot twist.
I'll say it. Good movie.
Plot twist.
Yeah. I think what really makes a difference is the fact that Adam Sandler wrote and plays a likable character.
Yes.
And not likable in like the Billy Madison like asshole with a heart of gold kind of way. Bobby Bouchard is just a nice
He's just a
guy.
little guy.
He's
He's just a little guy.
he's a cool guy.
No, he's just a little guy.
Yeah, okay, he's a little guy then.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it was interesting because I think in theory I've seen this before.
Huh?
Couldn't tell. Nope. Didn't have no recollection. None. Zero. So big if true, but that was my understanding was that we had seen this movie before. Didn't remember it at all. Takes place in Louisiana in the Bayou.
Yep. And they play a lot of
Big
like
theme.
yeah, they play a lot of southern music. They played House of the Rising Sun for about 15 seconds at one part, and a lot of the refrain of fucking Devil Went Down to Georgia, which we're in Louisiana, but you know.
Yeah.
And there's another one. Oh, they played fucking Hometown by Bruce Springsteen as well, which confused me. What?
I was just about to say, it took me this long to figure out how to open up chat. I couldn't figure out how to open up chat on Twitch. But I got it.
Also, your camera's like flickering.
Oh, I think I need a new one.
Okay. Boomer V.
Just ignore it. Yeah. Yeah, so and it was interesting because we actually watched a Hitchcock film earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
North by Northwest. And Oak, would you say that Waterboy was a better movie?
Yeah, Waterboy
Maybe that's a little far.
No, Waterboy is a better movie than North by Northwest, which I thought was boring.
If they edited Northwest down by like 45 minutes to an hour, it would have been a great movie.
North by Northwest did not have a woman editing it, so whoever the other man was editing it just let Hitchcock do whatever he wanted, because men don't know how to edit, except for me, and even then, you helped a lot with the Beatles video.
True.
Okay. But yeah, first of all, before we start talking about the plot or talking about this more, I do have a very important list that I need to get to.
Yes.
Product placement in this movie, which first of all, we went 15 full minutes without being advertised to. Yeah, and there was very little overall. In fact, most of this comes in the last 20 minutes of the movie. So we have Complete Idiot's Guide, Gatorade, Adidas, Coca-Cola, and ABC.
That's it.
That's it. I
There was
was
very little.
Yeah, I was astonished. I had to like think my own thoughts in that movie, not just be constantly bombarded with ads.
You were constantly bombarded with licensed music, though.
That is true.
Some
Fucking
of which was pretty good. Some of
Clearwater
which was not
Revival.
great.
Yeah. Uh Also, no fart jokes, arguably no poop jokes. There was that one moment where the announcer was like, "He knocked the poop out of him." And the other guy's like, "Poop?" I
Right. Right. Yeah. Was that it?
think that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So V, this is
What
a
year did this come
sport
out?
1998.
Okay.
V, this is a sports
Hmm.
movie. I know that
Mhm.
you did not like the golf movie. What do you think of the
I
Adam
did
Sandler
not.
football movie?
There was very little football in it, so that worked for me.
There's a lot of
I
fucking
didn't have to
football in
understand
it.
football. Nah.
But I
They were like
guess like
short scenes. It was
yeah.
mostly about the characters. Like I don't know how football works. I mean, you have to go from one side of the field to the other. That I do know that. But you didn't have to know. At one point the Fonz is in this. We'll get there, but the
Yeah.
Fonz is in this. At one point he started trying to explain football to Bobby, and I was like, I'm gonna understand this as well as Bobby does. It's not gonna happen. I know it's not that complicated, but listen, give me basketball, give me soccer. That's all I'm saying. Football, no.
Yeah, I'm more of a baseball kind of guy, personally.
Pissing off Brennan.
Is Brendan a footballer? I thought he liked actual football, Europe football.
He does like Europe football. Anyway, um, let's get into it. Let's get into it
Yeah.
because we have to dissect what was likable about this film,
Yes.
and also your crush on the love interest.
Oh yeah, yeah. You mean you?
We'll see. Um, so yeah, so here, you start us off, and then I'll jump in.
So, we start out with a football game, and then Adam Sandler's character, the titular Waterboy for the team, walks up with this like
Emphasis on
huge,
tit.
true, with this like huge backpack contraption that like filters water and stuff, and he has this whole water spread where he has like different containers of like distilled water, mountain water, lake water. Uh,
Water is his special interest.
yeah, water is genuinely his special interest, and like at first he came out and he did the voice, and he was very obviously supposed to be autistic, and I was like, oh, is this what we're going for this whole time? But then like
Yeah.
20 minutes in, I was like, oh, they're in Louisiana. That voice, I think, is mostly supposed to be an accent.
Yeah, it took us like a full 15, 20 minutes to figure out that he was doing an accent, maybe. And the what I compared it to is the way he talks in it is very much akin to I believe his name is Milton in Office
Mm.
Space, who's the like autistic character that like is gonna burn down the building because no one listens to him, but he just kind of talks in like a little dribble of words, like a little
Yeah.
yeah. And so, as you said, is this what they think autistic people are like?
Yes and
Um,
no.
yeah. Um, oh, Brennan clarifies just for the
Okay.
record,
Okay. Okay.
that he doesn't like American football, but is contractually obligated through work to know about it. Yes, yes,
Noted.
fair enough.
Stayed on record.
Um, Stayed on record. Yeah. So yeah, I wrote down that you said is he supposed to be disabled in this one, and I was like, the fact that we have to ask that.
Yeah. I mean, but he does the fucking
Um,
voice in like every movie. I guess Happy Gilmore he didn't do it.
yeah.
But it I was like, the fact that he is clearly like he has a special interest and stuff and isn't very good socially. His mother says that he
Mhm.
has like, what is it, social deficiencies, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, which
It's hard to say if he's supposed to be, like, intellectually disabled, but I don't think I think it's more just like that he was sheltered heavily
yeah,
and
I
didn't
don't
learn
think
a
that
lot
he
of
is
things.
because he gets a
Yeah.
97 on that test at the end.
Yeah.
Um, Oh, Brennan, that is a great question that we started
Great
talking about
question.
around this point in the film too. Do we think Adam Sandler is trying to say something about himself with all these autistic characters, or is it just 90s quote unquote humor? I think that he is trying to say something about himself and about how society treats people who are like different and weird in general. Like
Mhm.
genuinely. He's not always good about it, but I think with this one especially, um, the thing that I was saying to V was that everyone is always an asshole in Adam Sandler movies. Like the world is just cruel to the main
Yes.
characters. Um, and V was like, "Do you think that Adam Sandler got bullied in high school?" I was like, "He's like a shrimpy, nerdy Jewish kid. Like, yeah, of course." And so you get,
Yeah.
I was similar, and you know what I did? I got funny.
He's what you said was, "He's a nerdy little Jew, what's not to bully?"
Yeah, that's true.
And I wrote that down.
And I think that,
Then he became funny,
yeah, then he became
and
funny.
that's why he became funny, is what you
Exactly.
said.
Uh, that's how I feel about it.
Mhm.
So I do think that this movie, I don't know, this movie kind of feels maybe a tiny bit more personal than other ones
Mm, mm.
in my
But
interpretation.
he's also just a lot more of a likable character. He's
Yeah,
so like, cannot emphasize enough what more of a likable character he is in this one. He's not fucking annoying.
yeah.
He's not a like, sleazy guy. He doesn't even really know like, he's very sheltered. Um, he has a very understandable reaction to seeing titties at one point. Yeah, it was endearing, kind of. It was,
Yeah,
what did I described it later. We'll get there.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, let's
he gets fired from this big football team. He's been the water boy there for 18 years. He's 31,
yeah,
which means since he was like 17. That's
yeah.
math, right? 16?
And he gets hired for being disruptive, aka being aggressively bullied.
Yeah.
So then they fire him.
It really feels like they're disrupting his work
Yeah,
because they're like bowling over his fucking water table and stuff. And it's like, guys, you gotta drink that.
yeah. He
Remember to
drives
hydrate.
his lawnmower. Was that
Yeah,
what
it's
it's
a
called? Like
lawnmower.
there's like a one that you sit on. There's like a name for that.
Riding
I
mower.
think riding mower. He drives that home, and he
Hmm.
drives that throughout the movie, which is funny.
Hmm.
His mom is Kathy Bates,
Yeah.
one of the few actors I know who they are. They have an interesting relationship. Um,
Yeah. She's sheltered him. Like, I think she says at one point that, like, he's all she's got.
yeah, and we'll
Him
get into
and
that more later.
the donkey that they have.
Isn't it a horse?
That was a
It's a
donkey.
donkey?
Yeah. Right?
Pull up the evidence.
Okay, hang on. Hang on.
We'll find out. Yeah, she says, you don't have social skills. That's why you don't have any friends besides your mama. And it's like, is that what the issue?
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
Uh, it's in here somewhere. Try
Oh,
not
it's
to
that
get
guy.
his.
The
Ah,
fonts.
God, that's loud. Why don't I mute that shit? Let's see. Driving home.
Also, I didn't really pay that much close attention to the sets, but they are at least, especially the ones in at
There
their
it is.
house, are pretty good.
That
Her
looks like a
bedroom's really
donkey
good.
to me,
Chat, what do you think?
or like a mule.
Maybe a mule. It's kind of big. It's too big for a donkey. I thought it was a horse.
But like the ears and the nose and stuff don't look quite right for a horse.
Uh,
Yeah, I think it's a mule, donkey horse. Not to be
okay.
confused with Don Quixote.
Mm. Mm. Um. Yes. Brendan
So,
made me laugh.
let me see. So,
So yeah, we made his mom. She says, oh, he does tell her. He tells her he got fired. He also tells her. I forget how this comes up, but he tells her about Vicky, his crush from when he was a kid.
oh yeah, because
Oh, he says he's a Virgo, and she's
yeah,
like, "How do you know you're a Virgo?" He's like, "This astrology bitch."
yeah, he's like Vicky Valentine,
Mm-mm-mm.
Vicky Valancourt. Vicky
Mm.
Valancourt told me. Uh,
And his mom says, "I don't ever want you associating with little girls because little girls are the devil."
yep.
Some
Mama
little
says
girls.
everything she doesn't like is the devil.
That's true.
Um. Oh, also, this doesn't even really matter. But
The Captain Insano thing.
oh no, I was going to say
Oh, okay.
hit the stuff with his father. Uh, his mom has told him that his
Yeah.
father joined the Peace Corps and died in the Sahara of dehydration, which is
Yes.
his Waterboy backstory, I guess.
His tragic water backstory. Uh, yeah, and I read that Mama has an insane untreated anxiety disorder.
Yeah.
And then I wrote they have an unhealthy relationship, but I've seen worse. And then later I kind of rescinded that. um, yeah, so he's got a tragic water backstory. His dad's out of the picture. And which maybe I'll bring up now the parent figures in these movies so far. The
Mhm.
like so first movie no parents because he was on a yacht.
Yeah.
Second movie Billy Madison he only has a dad, and I don't think we find out what happens to his mom.
I don't think so.
Happy Gilmore, he has no parents but a grandma.
Yeah, I think he's an
Is that right?
orphan.
And then this one, he only has a mom.
Does Adam
What's
Sandler
going on
come
there?
from the broken home?
A broken home.
Let's see. Adam Sandler early life. Doesn't seem like it. Maybe it's just uh
Yeah, well, that's how you write a tragic backstory, I guess.
yeah.
But I just thought that was interesting that that keeps coming up. Um, so okay, Captain Insane on the TV doesn't really end up mattering very much, but there is a wrestler that he calls in to talk to called Captain Insane, which I thought was
Insano.
kind of funny. Insano, excuse me. And they bully him,
Yeah. He
and he
calls
calls
up
in the
and he
TV.
says, "Are you in need of a water boy?" And they're like, "How old are you, son? 10? 11?" Sir, I'm 31. And they laugh at him, which I think is
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you know.
So then he goes to the like local community college. Seemingly, we don't.
Yeah.
It's called what was like LSU,
It was
SU or something like that.
LCLSU.
Okay.
It's a South
Um.
Central Louisiana State University. I'm glad they got the university credential.
Wow, good
You
for
have to
them.
apply for
Maybe it's
that.
not community college.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like kind of a washed up college. The Fonz is the coach of the college football team, and so Bobby goes to get hired as a water boy there. Fonz is immediately I don't know his coach name. It doesn't matter. He's the Fonz.
His coach name is Coach Klein. No first name, just
No,
Coach.
not interesting. Um, so he's very like he's kind of immediately likable too. This is the thing. There were many likable characters in this,
Yeah.
unlike
Any other movie?
previous films. Yeah. So yeah, he's obsessed with getting the play right, and he's like doodling on a chalkboard. He's like showing Bobby the play as soon as Bobby shows up. And Bobby gets the job as the water boy because he gives him some of his water from his personal store. And the Fonz is like, "Oh, this is the water I've been giving my team," and shows like the most nasty ass stanky canteen covered in like mold and like moss and flies. And Bobby's like, I'll do it for free as long as you don't give the contents of that nasty jug to another person,
Yeah.
which was funny. Um, a bold choice to have likable characters. It's true.
True.
Um, yeah, I wrote he at this point is when I wrote he's sort of charming in this,
Yeah.
but he's way less obnoxious
He's a
because
fun guy.
I don't know if charming is the right word.
No, I think
I
he
think
is
endearing
charming.
is
Yeah, endearing,
more the right
I
word.
think is
He's not charming.
I think charm in implies like purposeful uh
Yeah,
persuasion, I guess.
he's
Purposeful
just a little guy.
likability. He's endearing.
Yeah. Then there's some football I wrote in all caps, UGG football. Um, and then I wrote, look at these 40-year-old high schoolers because I didn't clock that it was a college yet. We had to go rewind to
Yeah,
understand that, but yeah,
still.
I guess that's allowed. Yeah, they're all pretty old
Some of these
looking.
guys are way too old to play football.
Yeah. The Fonz is reading The Idiot's Guide to Coaching College Football.
Yep.
Um, let's see.
I would look at the summary, but
Oh,
Archer is stepping on the keyboard currently.
oh, excuses.
Yeah.
Is he considered conventionally attractive? Ash asks.
Archer? Yeah.
Like, yeah. Um, are you asking in the contents of like the film or like Adam Sandler?
I think Adam Sandler.
He
Um
looks I think he's attractive in this film. I think it's the hair.
the hair looks real. I commented he's got like such a full and fluffy head of hair in this film.
He looks pretty good in this one. It's also probably because he's being way less fucking obnoxious. So he's like, his face is more normal. He's not like doing weird shit.
Yeah.
Um,
This boy is
I mean, I don't know if
conventionally
he's like
attractive,
hot.
though.
I don't know. Wow, there he is.
There he is. Anyway.
Um, let's see. There's a lot of like jokes about how Bobby's like a moron.
Yeah, the
A lot of like punching
ableism
down. Yeah,
live
yeah,
really mean impressions,
yeah.
which straight up I did dock this movie a couple of points on my future letterboxd review for dropping a couple of slurs and for all of this stuff. And it's like I know they're
Two
the
R
bad guys.
slurs.
2 R slurs. The most to date.
Mm-hmm.
Um
True.
and uh yeah, I honestly without those, I might even give this movie like a 4 out of 5. But sorry,
Yeah,
it's a 3.5 at max now.
yeah. Um, so while he's getting the job as the water boy and like getting introduced to the team, he tackles a student. And like because he gets angry thinking about um he has a flashback to like when somebody spit in his water cooler when he was the water boy and like one
Yeah,
of the
because this
current
guy
players does
spit in
that.
it.
Yeah. So he tackles the student and the coach is like, "Oh my god, you're amazing." Much like Happy Gilmore a
Yeah.
little bit. Like, "Oh, you're this untapped talent." And Bobby's very much all about my mama won't let me do XYZ. So he's like, my mama won't let me play football. And the coach is like, let me go home with you and talk to her. So then we have this hilarious scene where there's an insane, gigantic dead python on the
Oh
dinner
yeah.
table with an apple in its mouth, like a pig. And they're eating that. There's a lot of like, I think probably punching down jokes about like Southern culture,
Yeah.
but I don't know enough to say that. But I
It's like
would assume.
probably yeah, it's like some classism stuff, I guess. But I guess they're
Yeah.
never
But honestly,
like
their place, their whole like
yeah.
their whole shit they got going on seems like they're doing fine and great
They
with
don't
it.
really seem poor. I think they're just supposed to be kind of hicks.
Yeah, Hicks, yeah.
Or maybe just, this is Louisiana food. Like there's a lot of like
Yeah, the
frog
famous
stuff
Louisiana
and
gigantic python.
yeah. Honestly, the
And like some whole potatoes.
Python is so fucking cool.
Those biscuits look great.
Yeah. It's a good
Some
plate.
beans.
Anyway, um,
Yeah. This is where we get the tragic water backstory. Um, and they have kind of a conversation about and she basically says no, he can't play. But on his way out, the Fonz shows a tattoo on his ass to encourage Bobby to join the team anyway and do against what his mama says,
Because his mom
which
said not to
was
get a tattoo of I don't remember the guys. It was someone
it
obscure.
looked like the Fonz, is what it
It
looked
did look
like.
like the Fonz. Hang on. Uh,
That's not his ass. I'm willing to bet that's not his ass. That's an ass double.
looks like his hands.
Maybe.
Who?
It looks
Hang
like
on.
Christopher Walken.
It does. I like the green shades. So where is it here?
We're gonna get demonetized.
Oh no. Roy Orbison.
All right. I just heard
Roy
that name in like a podcast
Orbison.
today.
Roy
Interesting.
Orbison was an American singer, songwriter, and guitarist known for his distinctive and powerful voice, complex structures, and dark emotional ballads. Okay.
Did he donate his corneas or retinas or did
Cornea, retinas, donate.
no?
No.
Okay, never mind. Scratch that from the record.
We'll edit it.
Um, Brennan, there are black people in this film. In the one of his like friends on the team is wow
Yeah.
progressive. But yeah. Um, let's see. I wrote also at this point is when I wrote there's so many likable characters in this actually. Like everyone
Yep.
that's not a bully is likable so far.
Yeah, his friend on the football team is cool. Like, he immediately is like, I like you, Bobby. You're cool.
hmm Um, yeah. So then I said, oh, then they try to teach him football, and I said, oh no, they're trying to teach him football, and therefore me football. Never gonna happen, bitch.
They just tell him
They're
eventually, I
oh
think, to just run the ball that way and hit whoever you can.
yeah, and think about being bullied, and then he's angry enough to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. He constantly tells him to like visualize somebody who has made him upset in order to like tackle them as strongly as possible.
Mm-hmm. And he sure does. And the foley on the tackles are quite intense. I mean, it's probably the same sound effect over and over again.
Yeah, let me get that up. I don't think that'll be too bad.
Isolate the foley.
Oh, should probably
That's how
unmute it.
they do it IRL too.
No. No what?
It's so intense.
It's like an assault
Yeah, so
on the senses.
it is. He gets his tackling powers from thinking about being bullied. Good for him, is what I wrote. Also, then he starts going to that college, and he picks his class based off being able to see the fountain out the window
Yeah.
because he just loves water, loves water sports. That boy.
Honestly, his girlfriend is probably into that.
What are you trying to say?
What? She's kind of a freak.
You've also compared her to me.
Yeah, no.
How dare you?
I apologize.
That's the wrong system member.
I didn't want to say.
Thanks. There's also definitely some bisexual Adam Sandler allegations in this film.
Again.
There are several moments that are a little gay or like outright kind of gay. Can't remember any of them, but I did write that down.
One
I
that
think
I
I get to one
specifically
later.
remember is later at a party, where these two
Yeah.
girls are like, "Are you seeing anyone?" And he's like, "Yeah, I see a lot of people." Then they're like,
Oh,
"Any
right.
girls?" And he says, "Yeah, I see a lot of girls. I see a lot of guys too."
A lot of guys too.
Yeah. And one of them walks, or they're both like, "That's hot," and then one of them was like, "I saw my mom and Coach Klein at the same time last night." And one of them walks away, and the other is like into that.
I missed that.
Yeah, weird energy from that.
We still gotta have some weird fucking jokes in this one.
Yeah, not every joke is a winner.
No, I mean, certainly not. Just because we liked this one doesn't mean
It's not problematic.
it was a banger. Yeah. It's just a breath of fresh air.
It was not a banger.
Also there's a Colonel Sanders as professor.
Yep.
Very, very Colonel Sanders.
I
And
mean,
you
they straight
did
up
point out
call
there
him
was a
that.
pretty good visual gig when he raises his hand. That was pretty funny because he's
Oh,
never
yeah.
he's been homeschooled. So he's very, he's very innocent, very sheltered, but like in a much more likable way than Happy Gilmore or
Yeah.
Billy Madison was.
So the professor's like, can anyone tell me why alligators are abnormally aggressive? And he's like, oh, I know. And his friend tells him to raise his hand. And he does it like fucking Bugs Bunny conducting the opera singer. There.
Did you show that part?
Yeah, I just did.
Oh, you did. Also, what time period is this set in? The 90s, I assume.
Modern day.
Yeah, it's just Colonel Sanders as professor for some reason.
Even though
Which
that's
he then
Kentucky.
does call later on say he's a colonel. He calls him Colonel Sanders. I'm like, okay, so we were all thinking it.
Yeah.
That was the point. Okay, also the whole anger and aggression comes from the medulla oblongata is scientifically not true. That medulla oblongata translates things from your spinal cord.
Yeah, that's all like involuntary
breathing.
body stuff, right?
Yeah, but I don't know about for alligators. That's not my area.
Yeah, they're just making shit up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Ash, their fits and football pads look so 70s because they're in the South. Hope that helps.
So, they get to the first game of the season, and they've apparently had a 40-game losing streak, which is like multiple years. And they almost win, but then somebody says something vaguely insulting to Bobby about his mama, and he says the guy's like jersey number out loud, and then when he has the ball, he's like 62, and he sees him and throws it to him and sprints after him in an attempt to tackle him, but he tackles him into the touchdown zone, football, end zone.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm a baseball
Wow.
boy.
Wow.
And they lose, and the team is very upset that he basically threw the game.
Yeah, end zone. Oak, please. I win that one. Also, importantly, I wrote down that his mom was playing badminton with the horse / mule. There was a single shot of that, and I was like, okay.
Good for her.
She really seems to have a lot going on.
Yeah, she's got hobbies.
She's got hobbies. I also at that point wrote, maybe it's the wine, but this one is actually so much more enjoyable.
I'm stone cold sober, and it's not the wine.
Well, it does help.
We do get another game, and they do actually win it. And Bobby is breaking records for most sacks in a game.
That's good that you wrote that, because I didn't write anything about the games at all.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Then soon after, we actually get to meet Vicky Valancourt, which I thought that she was just kind of a throwaway line, and
who's played by
Fairuza Balk,
who is the
Nancy Downs from The Craft,
antagonist of The Craft.
Yeah, she's like dual protagonist antagonist.
Yeah, depends on whose side you're on. I wrote she's a lesbian, Bobby.
Yeah, she has
an upside down triangle tattoo.
It is blue though. I don't know what that's
But
supposed to
then
mean.
later I wrote, maybe he's a lesbian too?
Mmm. That's something. Let me get a clip of Vicky Valancourt. She's still very
There she
like
is.
alternative here, and I love it.
Sure. Shocking.
Yeah. She is kind of a freak. Um
Yeah, I wrote Oak says she reminds me of her. LOL, elaborate. And then we kind of do elaborate later
yeah.
in the movie.
And I like that
That's a dyke, right?
yeah, unlike that every other fucking love interest that we have in these Adam Sandler movies so far, um she doesn't just like fall in love with him out of nowhere. Let me turn off the subtitles for
Yeah,
a second so you can
she's got a
see.
bit of a personality. She's
Yeah.
got hobbies that include like doing illegal things.
Yeah. And like she already likes him. Like she's already his friend who like has feelings for him. And like I get why. Like
Mhm.
Bobby's a
That lipstick is egregious though.
yeah, who styled her that day. Maybe she's wearing it for Bobby's mama.
Mhm.
Uh but yeah, she Adam Sandler doesn't just like I mean he does just kind of get her, but it feels more earned for the character because they have this
Yes.
pre-established relationship.
Mhm. So yeah, he invites her to the cookout, aka barbecue at Mama's house, and
Mhm.
Mama's shooting daggers at her because girls are of the devil,
Mhm.
and also no one. She's a what do they call it? Boy mom.
Yeah, she is a boy mom.
She's a boy mom. She's like, no woman can have my little man who's all mine.
Also, Vicky
Um,
does like witchcraft adjacent stuff. I kind of like to think this is Nancy Downs after she gets on some mood stabilizers. I think that
moves to the
she could be
south,
into him. Yeah.
maybe. Um, Definitely makes us. I mean, it makes me like her more just because I have I like her character as
Yeah.
in the craft, but
She's
she's a
a
good
likable
actress.
actress, yeah.
Yeah. Also, two things. One, he told his mama that a gorilla escaped from the zoo and punched him in the eye, and that's why he has a black eye, because he's hiding the fact that he's playing football, and that is like an ongoing gag that is quite funny that like
Yeah.
continues. I kind of wish they'd done like a third act, like
Gorilla.
one more joke at the end with the
Yeah.
gorilla. Like there's actually an escaped gorilla or something like runs onto the football field.
Honestly, I kind of
Um,
like that it gets dropped. I think that's
yeah.
it's funny like in that scene his mom was like, did they ever catch that gorilla that broke out of the zoo and hit you in the eye?" And he's like, "No, no mama, they didn't. The search continues." Which
And then
the
later
phrase
he's
"the
beat
search continues."
later he's beat up again, like later on in the movie, and she like during a montage, she's just like putting up like a sign that she made. Can you find that
Yeah.
moment? I don't know, it might be kind of hard,
It's
but
two
like
moments
she's
like back to back in the montage because in the
right,
montage
they
he like he's talking to her and he makes like monkey gestures and then she puts
yeah.
up the poster. Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Uh see?
Are you showing it?
Oh fuck. Oh, hang on, I also hit start recording by mistake. That was my bad. There we go.
What? Yeah, the gorilla. Oh, damn. Wanted. Reward.
Good
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 callback.
bit. What did I hit? I hit studio mode. Man, I gotta stop clicking buttons. Anyway,
Yeah. Um Yeah. Also, while they're at, well, they're having food with Vicky. Um, which was there another love interest named Vicky
Her name was Veronica.
in Veronica? Okay. Um, yeah, but his mom is trying to like embarrass him in front of her and be like, "Oh, like, his feet stink." And she's like, "Oh, I don't mind. I like
Yeah,
it. Yeah, man's feet are supposed to stink," or something like that. But she also tells her that he like that pees the bed essentially, and I'm like, that's a sign of severe trauma. Like, something's not right. If
I
that's
mean, have you seen
gonna
his
be the
home
tall
life?
shift. Yeah, that was kind of when I revoked my earlier statement about this not being that bad. I was like, yikes.
Yeah.
But
She
it
also
gets a bit better at the end.
his mama does also say like he sleeps in pajamas with deputy dog on them, and
Hmm.
and Vicky's like, well, I happen to think that deputy dog is very sexy.
She's a bad girl, you
I
know.
love her. uh
So then he's playing football still, and he's like having an internal crisis about liking her because his mama doesn't want him to. And at one point during the play, he's like fantasizing about her, and he says "I love you" to the footballer that he tackles,
oh
and
no,
the guy
he
he
because
tackles says "I love you" too.
he pictures him as his mama, because
Oh, his mama.
saying like you won't date that temptress, and he tackles her
Mm.
and he's like, I'm sorry, mom. He tackles him and he's like, I'm sorry, mama, I love you. The guy's like, I love you
And
too.
I was like,
Something.
um, then I wrote, Bobby gets invited to a party looking like Oak during the magical mystery tour portion of the
He
video.
does wear a lot of
But with a green
70s look.
blazer over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here we go. Kind of a vibe.
Mhm. Yeah.
Colonel Sanders got tackled by Bobby at one point here. The two women that want to know if he's seen anyone, and he sees lots of girls
That
and
looks like
guys too.
Timu, Monica, and Rachel.
Yeah, honestly, I can see it. Anyway, it's a good outfit.
Okay. Then was there anything that happened at the party besides the like bye jokes and
Not
the
really. But I think
um
that night is when he takes Vicky home.
Vicky home? Also, she's literally wearing a rainbow top.
She is.
And then I wrote maybe Bobby's a lesbian.
Honestly,
They
bye for
keep talking
bye
about astrology.
couple.
Yeah. There was also some beautiful shots of Louisiana in this, like when they're driving home in the stolen Porsche and his lawnmower.
Oh
Just a
yeah, that
really,
was it.
really pretty
After they
short
go on like a
shot.
big winning streak, they like I think there's a famous football player or something that makes a cameo, and afterwards in the parking lot, Vicky's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna steal his Porsche." And they drive. They Bobby's like, "Do you want to like ride home with me?" And she does. Yeah, rainbow top. She does steal the Porsche. Wait, did that say Louisiana or California? That looks like a California plate. Oh, but he's probably from California.
Louisiana looks like California
Oh yeah,
plates.
okay, no,
Yeah, they're really similar. She's lesbians,
personalized.
Harold. True.
But yeah, that is a nice shot.
They go home and his mama's asleep and they start making out, and I won't call you out.
No, you're doing that by saying that. I'll just play it. Play what he says. Hang on. Oh, this moment actually before they kiss really really got me, because like,
Mm.
she's into witchy stuff and he's into water, and he's like, uh I wanted
Oh
to
yeah.
I wanted you to have something. It's this special water that's like glacier water from, I don't know, not the North Pole or something, but that
Like
was
Arctic or the
yeah,
Antarctica or
the
something
the
like that.
Arctic, and it was blessed by. I think this term is okay, but maybe not in this context. An Eskimo medicine man, just some weird racist
Yeah.
bullshit, but
Yeah.
it stays cold all the time, and it's like very very special to him, and it's like
Yeah.
he's like giving her something about his special interest that he thinks that she will
Right.
like
Yeah.
genuine, like knowing her interests and wanting to share his. I was like, damn, a good relationship.
I mean, easily the best love interest by far.
Yeah. Uh well,
Water. Oh, that's why it's so special.
Careful not to play too much of
yeah,
that.
I'll skip the kiss.
That was that happened. That happened to be my first time with the lips and the tongue. That was your tongue. I believe it was the. I never did that before. Oh, that was.
Okay.
I'm not saying that but it wasn't not. Anyway.
Wasn't not what? V?
Oh my god. Also, she shows him her tits, and
Yeah.
he does appreciate that, but
Yeah,
in
he's
a
like,
kind of a
I
cute
really
way.
like that. I appreciate that you're showing me this.
I appreciate what you're showing me right now,
Yeah,
or what
that
you're
felt like
showing right
a
now.
very like autistic. I'm being polite and trying to convey that I am actually having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, the voice. It's
Uh,
something.
it's a lot. I came
Yeah.
to be okay with it. Um,
Yeah.
so the team is going
Well,
to
because he's
the
way less obnoxious.
yeah, exactly. The
Yeah.
team is going to the Bourbon Bowl, which is, I guess, like the local college. It says it's the first annual one, local college tournament game, essentially against the team that Bobby used to be the Waterboy for. Uh,
Yeah.
and they show up. The other team shows up at this pep rally and calls Bobby a slur, and then is like, "I'm I'm gonna kick your fucking ass on the field." And he doesn't say fuck because it's PG-13. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And um, all of a sudden there's a knife at his throat, and Vicky is
Mm.
like, uh, "I'm gonna cut your head off if you do anything to Bobby." And Rob Schneider
You're
is
like swoon.
yeah. I was like, wow, this that's my girlfriend. Uh, Rob Schneider plays. He's credited as a townie. His only line is "You can do it." And in that moment, he say it like 5 times already, but in that moment he says, "You can do it. Cut his fucking head off."
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Yeah.
Uh. I believe she does get arrested for this, but I guess she broke out or something or paid bail.
Yeah.
Um. So. Oh, and at this.
Is that when she holds up the sign saying, "Do you want me to kill them?" Or is that
No,
later?
that's later. Um.
He also holds up a sign that says, "Do you want me to kill them?"
So the other thing that's revealed here is that the coach of the other team uh, gets a letter from the NCAA saying that because Bobby's high school transcript was forged um, by the school that he plays for as coach, he's not allowed to play. Um, and the town like turns on him when
Mm-hmm.
he didn't fucking do anything. He
Right.
literally did not do anything.
Yeah, that's like revealed during like a press
A pep rally,
conference. I
yeah.
don't know. Pep rally. It was a pep rally. I don't know. Yeah, and yeah, they all turn on him except for Vicky, I think.
Yeah, and the
And
coach, I
then
think.
yeah, well, then the coach reveals that he was the one who forged the high school transcripts or whatever,
Yeah,
and
because
he
Bobby
tells
was
his
homeschooled.
tragic backstory.
Oh
He
yeah.
tells his tragic backstory where he has like a fro, and so does the other guy. And it was like that he used to write his plays in like this notebook, and the coach of that ended up being for the other. I can't explain
It
this.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
The coaches have beef.
Yeah, and and then we'll get to this when we talk about my most offensive joke, so I'll save that for later. But yeah, so he took his playbook, and at that point, Bobby stands up to his mom, which I wrote. He stands up to his mom, whose roommate is a horse, because I just hadn't mentioned it in my notes at that point, except for the badminton. But I forget. He like says, "Yeah, I am playing football, and I'm gonna play football," or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't
because his
remember what
mom finds
happens
out
right here.
that he's playing football because he's studying for the GED.
Oh, because
Because
they tell him you have to take the high school exit exam, and then you
exactly.
can play. Right. For
Um,
like Billy Madison.
yeah, they just kind of retreads Billy Madison real quick.
Yeah.
So he does have to take the GED. And hang on. Mental breakdown. Unable to come up with new plays. Links to writer's block. Okay. Um. Okay. Wanted to make sure that I wasn't skipping anything. So Bobby takes the
Yeah,
GED, and this is the bit where Vicky like knocks on the window where he's taking the test
oh
and holds
right.
up the sign that says like "Want me to kill them."
At which point I wrote, Oak once again vehemently says, "I love her."
Yeah.
So then does he pass it? I like
Yeah, he gets a
totally
97.
zoned out during that part. Okay, great, good for him. Unfortunately, his mom fakes a health emergency.
Yeah,
So
she
that
fakes a coma or something.
yeah, so she's in the hospital. Um and so in order to like get him to not play, and so of course he goes to be by her side. And it's funny that you mentioned John Mulaney a second ago, Brennan, because what I wrote in my notes was that there's a horse in the hospital, because they do bring the horse roommate to her hospital room.
They do. He like decorates her hospital room like their home.
Yeah, you should show that, honestly. It's kind
Yeah.
of crazy.
Let's see.
And then also just there's like this montage of Vicky gathering a bunch of the people in the town, including gay sheriffs, question mark,
So it was one
to
of
come
the
support
guys on
him.
the football team. I think it's the one that made fun
Why
of
did he
Bobby
look
all
like
the
why did I
time.
think he was a sheriff?
Because I
Where
think
did
the
that
other
come
guy
from?
was a sheriff.
Okay. There's the
That's a mule.
mule, whatever.
Yeah, so
Yeah, wow, the decorations.
yep, they
Well, he decorated the hospital. He brought all her stuff from home.
sanitary.
What set decor? That's insane.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
I looked at this and I was like, that must have taken so long to put up.
Yeah.
Uh so yeah,
That floral chair. Look at the bedspread. There's a lot going on.
yeah, it is a lot. Uh
Unfortunately, I hate this lady now. She comes around in a minute. But yeah.
yeah. So Vicky gathers up a bunch of people from town to like rally support behind Bobby so that he comes and like rejoins the team. They all say
Mhm.
sorry. And
Yeah. They say this like outside the window of the hospital. Like
yeah.
they give a speech or whatever. She gives a speech, and they're all like cheering for him. And he's like, "No, I gotta stay with my mama." Which at that point is when mama like hears their like plea, and the next day like reveals to him that his dad didn't actually die in the Sahara. He went to New Orleans and abandoned them, and changed his name to Roberto,
Yeah.
and abandoned them for a voodoo lady or something like that.
Yeah, which I think is
Um,
also why Mama doesn't like horoscopes and the stuff that Vicky does.
oh,
Yeah.
yep. Wow, what a well-written story
Setup and payoff.
comparatively.
What's that?
Um, yeah, so she like reveals the letters that the dad sent that where he abandoned her, and she's like, and I've been, caught, like, I don't know, I've been too protective of you, and you should go out and do that. Go out there and play some foosball. She calls it foosball, which I
Yeah,
did think was kind of funny.
it's funny. Um, I love this line in Wikipedia. Arriving at halftime via airboat.
Oh yeah, they do take
Yeah.
it's very southern, very Louisiana. They take an airboat.
Yeah, Vicky soups up
Fan boat?
their airboat that they have.
Fan
Um,
boat? I
no, I think it's an airboat.
thought they called it a fan boat in the movie.
Oh, maybe it's the same thing, I think.
Yeah.
Um, Vicky
Um
also like souped up his lawnmower at one point, and he like zooms home.
oh yeah.
Um,
What was
and
her job?
I don't know. I think criminal
Huh.
is her job.
Okay,
Oh
great.
yeah, because after the cops pull up after the GED to tell him that his mom is in the hospital, and when they're pulling up,
Right.
she says, "When they ask, I was with you between the hours of 2 and 4." Okay.
Yeah. AM.
Yeah. um.
I
So the
wrote
big
at this
game.
point I wrote, I'm genuinely rooting for him. Dot dot dot.
Yeah.
Is this heartwarming? Question marks.
I'm not gonna lie. When okay, let's talk about the game real quick.
I thought you probably shed a tear. I was just expecting that from you.
Listen.
So they're playing the game without him. Like he doesn't get there until what, halftime or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know. They're losing. He gets there. I didn't write anything about the game, so
So the
take
game,
it from here.
uh, in the game, the other coach once Bobby shows up because Bobby is such like a force on defense and constantly makes like interceptions and turnovers and stuff. Um, the coach of the other team has decided to not play offense. So for every play, he just has the quarterback take a knee so that it turns over where they're on defense, and the Mud Dogs, that's Billy's or Bobby's team, not Billy. Man, I've been trying not to say Billy this whole time. Um, because the Mud Dogs don't have good offense. Um, Bobby was carrying the team. So they come up with a new play. The coach is finally able to do a new play again. Good for him, I guess. Um, and uh, there's there's a point where some like broadcasters interview Vicky, who is like doing the water for the team, and
Right.
they're like she's taken over the water boy position from Bobby because he's still being the water boy while he is while he is playing, but he's out on the field right now. And
Hmm.
she's like, I'm not taking over, I'm just trying not to screw it up. uh and he asks her like, how do you think this game's gonna end? And she says, oh, the Mud Dogs are gonna win 30-27. And he's like, that's it's a really specific guess. And she says that wasn't a guess. uh
Good for her.
yeah. um the short
At
version
one
of the rest of
point,
this, oh yeah.
well, I do know at one point that he gets like tackled and is
Hmm.
downed, and he's like not getting up, and she brings over the magical glacier water
Yeah,
and gives it to him, and then he's revived. Which I was, and he said something like, um,
that's some refreshing H2O.
yeah, and I'm like, isn't it seawater
Whatever.
in glacier? Anyway,
You need the
I
minerals.
also wrote, football is gay the way they stand beside the bent over guy. That's my commentary on
Thank you, B.
sports. And also like he kept changing positions on the team for some reason. I
They
didn't
put him on
understand that.
offense when normally he's a linebacker, because they wanted to get him to play because he's good.
Okay.
And they win 30-27, and
Mm-hmm.
Bobby is named the MVP, and they lift him
Mm-hmm.
up, and they're like, "What do you have to say?" And he says, "I love my
He's like, no,
mama."
they're like, how do you feel? And he's like, I love my mama. And then on the like big screen, it says he loves his mom,
Yeah,
which is very funny.
that is where I like got a little bit choked up, and I don't really know why.
I almost wrote, I'm sure Oak is probably crying right now.
Shut up. You're right.
Then I mean,
Yeah, she knows me.
then the last scene is they're coming out of a church because they got married and they ride
Whatever.
off on the lawnmower and his dad shows up for a second and
You could have got
the
that.
mama tackles him. Yeah, that was pointless. And then mama tells him enjoy becoming a man on
Yeah.
his wedding night.
Because there was a
Didn't
bit
need
later
that.
or a bit earlier where Vicky was like, you know, because he was like, "Oh, I don't want we're gonna wake up Mama or whatever," and he doesn't know what sex is. And she's like, "Yeah, you ain't even a man, Bobby." So I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think that you
Yeah,
need
but
to.
also like there's no fucking way that she didn't bang him before their wedding day. Like there's simply no
Yeah,
way.
unless this is like
So
literally that
it
afternoon.
could be like that afternoon, yeah. Not a good ending. But that's it. That's the plot. That's the film.
Yeah, Wikipedia
Uh
says Bobby and Vicky leave on his lawnmower to consummate their marriage, and it links consummate to the consummation of a marriage or simply consummation.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Great picture here, too.
So Oak, what worked in this film?
Bobby. Bobby really works. Vicky
Mm.
really. All the
Mm.
characters work, basically.
Yeah.
Um, even the football stuff worked. They made me care about
They
football a little
didn't
bit.
spend too much time on the football.
Yeah, it
I
didn't like
agree.
bog down the entire movie like the golf stuff. Um,
Oh God, so much golf.
and the jokes largely worked.
Yeah, there were still some stinkers,
Yeah,
but there was a lot of good ones. There was a lot of decent ones.
I was laughing.
Yeah, we were both laughing.
What about you, V? What worked?
It's a lot wittier. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot wittier. I think there was a lot more. There was some more cleverness. But it was also like they trimmed more of the stupid jokes. I think
Mm-hmm.
I think Adam wrote them and then they edited them.
I don't know. It's the
He edited
same
them out.
guys. It's Adam and
Okay,
Tim the entire time so far, except for going
I don't
overboard.
know
I
then.
think.
Um, yeah. So I mean, kind of what you said. I think the setting was interesting. I might have been a little offensive to Southern. I don't know, but
We're Northerners
it
and
was
Westerners, so
yeah, it was more interesting. I mean, I had some, it was interesting, like having Louisiana as a character in the film
mm-hmm.
in probably an offensive way, but it was also still kind of just it was different.
Yeah,
Um, the plot was fine.
yeah. It served the story, or it
It
served
wasn't
the
like I
characters.
wasn't really bored at any point. A bit during some football stuff, but again, that was kind of pretty snappy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. What didn't work?
The ableist jokes. Like,
Yeah,
I think they
yeah,
played that a little too hard for a little too long. I mean,
it's punching
any
down.
amount is too hard to be fair, but I think they played it for too long after Bobby is on the team and like respected on the team. Like one guy like keeps going in on him until like the third act. And it's like, do none of these
Mhm.
motherfuckers say, "Hey, dude, shut the fuck up. I'm going to kick your ass."
Yeah, yeah.
Cowards.
Yeah, those jokes, like kind of all of it's very over the top, like hitting you over the head with like how these guys are
Assholes.
like evil bullies, assholes. Yeah, like it's too much. It's I don't know.
Like I can think critically on maybe Sandler's audience mostly can't, but
Damn.
because they're mostly children, maybe.
What was the most offensive joke to you personally?
What was the weird one where Henry Winkler was wearing heels for no reason, like as he
Yeah.
was having his mental breakdown?
Yeah. That was
Uh,
mine too. We have to get some trans misogyny in there. We just have to squeeze it
it's
in.
not a film unless we are transphobic.
Yeah,
Uh,
let me see what I wrote. This is after his backstory about the other coach stealing his plays. He says he had a breakdown and that he took my playbook and my manhood.
yeah. And he's talking
Yeah,
to
and
his
then he's
grandma on the
wearing
phone, and here
heels.
I laughed because the cord isn't in the phone, and then here I
Yeah.
went, "What?
They don't even fit.
No, they're too
Get
big.
ones that fit.
How is
Yeah,
that
and then at the very
possible?"
end as well, like they say where is it? I don't think I wrote it. But specifically at the end when they win, he tells the coach, "Oh, you got your manhood back."
Oh
And it's
yeah, the
like, "All
manhood
right.
stuff. Yeah, overall,
We don't have time for this. We didn't have time for it in the 90s. We don't have time
it's
for it now."
boring. I'm pretty sure it was
It's
boring
boring.
then.
It reminds me of how in the last movie where what's his name put on lipstick randomly.
Oh, that wasn't the last movie. That was 2 movies ago. But yeah,
Oh,
Steve
right,
Buscemi.
right. Super Shimmy puts on lipstick for no
Oh,
reason because
by the way,
he's
if you were watching this on YouTube and you're like, "Where is the Billy Madison video?" It's on Twitch. I'm working on trying to get a version for YouTube, but it got fucking nuked. They
we're
were
not
like,
showing clips anymore for
"Yeah,
that reason.
uh,
Yeah, but you
yeah,
better get that up there
I'll do my best."
for all of our Rabbit fans. They're waiting.
The thing is that there's like I was going to just do YouTube's automatic like cut out the content ID match stuff, but there's one bit where we show several clips in a row but do talking between, and
Yeah,
it's like a 9-minute segment that it wants me to cut. So it's like, oh, I
yeah,
gotta go into fucking Premiere and I gotta I gotta do those cuts myself, and oh god, my
yeah.
ADHD. I gotta
Do it
watch
for me.
more hit films. I don't have time for this. I gotta watch crap like North by Northwest in between watching masterpieces such as The Wrong Man and The Waterboy.
Uh, North by Northwest was not very
It
good.
wasn't good.
It's quite boring. Okay, anyway. Um, what was he trying to say with this? What are the themes in the message?
Uh, autistic people are cool.
Yeah, maybe that's why we liked this one.
Yeah. It
Having a special interest in water is neat.
yeah. Respect people's special interests because they're
It'll get you
important.
alternative girls.
Yeah, alt girls love weird boys. That's what I have learned in my life and in this movie.
So true. Uh, um, Adam might still be bi.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever
Uh,
admit it publicly. And, there's arguments that some of these jokes are like, but
well, they're just like
there's so
haha
many of
homos.
them.
But
And it's like
yeah,
being
I don't
bi
know.
specifically.
Yeah, it's true. It's also kind of a similar theme to the other movies in some ways, where it's like the underdog, the one who's getting bullied, is comes out on top, and everyone learns that they should like him instead.
Yeah.
But this was such a much more likable character
Yeah. I think
than
that
those
this
ones.
is maybe the last Adam Sandler movie that's like this or has that theme. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because like I mean that was kind of the last few movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then I think
Yeah.
he's found like real success. And then he does films where like he's still a loser, but he's not like an underdog necessarily, I think. Because I think that's how
Hmm.
Little Nicky goes, which is I
Yeah.
think the next
Is
one.
that next? Oh.
Big Daddy, sorry.
Oh.
Big Daddy and then Little Nicky.
Oh man.
Wait,
Well,
what
let's
is
take a
Little
second
Nicky?
to talk.
Little Nicky, the son of Satan and an angel who tasked with
You don't
returning
know
his
about Little
two.
Nicky?
No. To be
Oh,
honest,
I've
I've
seen that.
conflated Big Daddy and Little Nicky for years.
Okay, well we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. So, character you liked the most or the most sympathetic towards?
I mean, Bobby followed by Vicky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like the coach.
Yeah, Coach was fun. I
Um,
liked his friend, whose name I forget.
Derek maybe?
Let me see.
I wrote it down. Yeah, Derek.
Yep. Derek was good. Larry
Yeah.
Gilliard Jr.
Very very little screen time for that
Oh,
black man, but he
D'Angelo
was
from The
in it.
Wire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never seen The Wire.
What else? Let's see. Anything you would do to fix it besides taking out the
Yeah,
ableist jokes?
take out the ableism stuff or fucking tone it down. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit okay with villains being like, don't drop the R slur, but like being an asshole to him. I'm okay with that
Mm-hmm.
in principle, in theory.
Mm-hmm.
But you got this. It's too much. She made it too much. And I
Mm-hmm.
think besides
Agreed.
that, you can maybe tighten up the end of the second act.
Oh yeah, the ending too.
Yeah, cut some of the shit from the ending.
Cut the last scene. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm okay with the wedding, but I
Ugh.
I think you should have cut it at the end of the football bit, the game.
Yeah. And okay, let's do our budget prediction and then our ratings
I
prediction.
do unfortunately know the budget already, so I want you to
Oh,
guess.
okay. I have no idea. The last one was like between like 10 and 15 million.
Something like that.
This one it didn't seem like it. I mean, does Kathy Bates cost a lot? I don't know.
Keep in mind that this one they
Um,
had way less product placement than Happy Gilmore.
yeah, it
And Happy
didn't
Gilmore,
seem
as a
like
reminder, cost $12 million.
12 million. Yeah, I was like 10. Yeah, I mean, it really like it had enough budget to look good and be a
Mhm.
blockbuster. So it had to be over a certain amount. I don't know, 10 million.
23 million.
Yeah, okay.
So
That makes
double
sense.
the cost of Happy Madison.
But also,
Or
yeah,
sorry,
where did
Happy
that all
Gilmore.
go?
Huh.
Who
I mean, they used it
football?
wisely, it seems. Yeah. Oh, they had a lot of cameos from football guys.
Oh, okay. See,
Yeah.
goes over my head. All right, ratings prediction on
You didn't guess how much it made.
oh, how much it made.
Yeah.
Oh. Hmm.
$23 million budget. How much did it make?
How long after Happy Gilmore did this come out?
Like 2 years? 2 years.
Okay.
This is his third
Box
third film of
office?
1998.
US box office?
Overall.
Overall? 150 million?
190 million.
Okay.
It honestly smashed the box office, and I'll say it,
Yeah.
it deserved to.
I mean, certainly deserved to more than the last three
Yeah.
movies.
Yep. 169 of that was from the US and 28 million from worldwide.
Right. If this has lower ratings than either Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison, I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah. This has to be
All right.
higher because this is the other one. The two movies I always hear like these are the good Adam Sandler movies are Billy Madison and sometimes they say Happy Gilmore, but I always hear The Waterboy.
Okay. It really does feel like it's all downhill from here. Absolutely. I'm kind of dreading Sand and the Lovable Sandler. Okay, so the ratings. So critic score, what do you think?
I think that critics would be okay with this one. I think it gets like a 70.
Okay.
And I think this has
Yeah.
like a 90 audience score.
Okay. Yeah. I that's about where I'm ballparking too. I'll say um I'll say just to be different, 75 critics. Although yeah, it's there's not that much to dislike about it. And like 93 audience. Pulling it up.
Wow.
Plot twist. Everyone disagrees with us.
34%. I don't know,
Critics.
did we watch the same movie?
This is 71%
Is it because I've been
audience.
shoveling crap into my brain for like
I
months
think
now?
so. I think
No, we also watched North by
like
Northwest.
I think there's like, at this point we cannot accurately gauge. But this is good. This is good for our research. It's good
Yeah.
for our research. So
No, but I've watched good
only
movies since then. I've
70.
also watched The Thing. And The Thing from Another
It's a great
World.
movie.
And The Thing 2011. That was a good day.
I didn't know you watched all those.
Yeah. We did it while sewing.
Yeah. 70% audience. That is surprising. I'm not
I
that surprised by the critic score. I
Yeah.
actually was thinking about guessing a lot lower, but not that low, but
Do you want to hear
just,
what Roger
yeah.
Ebert said?
Oh, please.
Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film a negative review, saying Sandler is making a tactical error when he creates a character whose manner and voice has the effect of fingernails on a blackboard, and then expects us to hang in there for a whole movie. He also included the film on his most hated list.
Okay. Like, no, but also I do have to wonder how much of our perception of this is colored by having compared it to the first three that we watched.
And maybe
You know?
seeing it in rapid succession, because I'm sure Ebert has seen the other movies that we saw too. I know that he commented on Happy Gilmore's product
Sure.
placement and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
If we had just on a whim, we weren't doing this project and we on a whim decided to watch The Waterboy, do you think that we would have liked it? I mean, I don't know why we would have done that, but say we did.
yeah, I think you and I are pretty
Yeah.
open-minded to this sort of thing.
It's
Like, and
true.
we like stupid movies sometimes.
That's true. And we like autistic characters,
Yeah.
as Brennan puts it, relating to an autistic king. That's true. That goes a long way with us. So
Yeah.
and a weird girl.
Roger Ebert says that he tried to like it. He says in the first paragraph of his full review, I believe in giving every movie the benefit of the doubt. I walked into The Waterboy, sat down, took a sip of my delicious medium roast coffee, and felt at peace with the world. How nice it would be, I thought, to give Adam Sandler a good review for a change. Goodwill and caffeine suffused my being, and as the lights went down, I all but beamed at the screen. Then Adam Sandler
Right.
spoke, and all was lost. His character's
I
voice
mean,
is
that is
made of a
relatable.
lisp, a whine, a nasal grating, and an accent that nobody in Louisiana actually has, although movies pretend that they
true.
do. I mean, he's not
Like,
wrong.
you're not wrong. Just comparing the annoyingness of this character compared to the other ones is like night and day.
The annoying voice becomes endearing in a way. Unlike Happy Gilmore didn't really have it, but unlike Billy Madison or fucking Schmecky, whatever his name was in Going Overboard.
Yeah.
What was his name? It was Schmecky, something like Shecky Mouskowitz. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
final thoughts? Or is there anything else we do?
Again, I wouldn't seek it out, but I wouldn't be mad about watching it again.
Yeah.
It was entertaining.
Yeah, I would watch this again.
Yeah. Definitely more than the other ones. So Big Daddy is next, you say?
Yes. Starring
And that
Adam
came out
Sandler
in
and
98
Dylan and
as
Cole
well?
Sprouse. Yeah. No, it came out in 99, 2000. Hang on, 2000. Nope,
It
99.
seems like a two. Oh, I was
I
gonna say
was
it
looking
seems
at
like a
Little Nicky
2012.
again.
Wow. Okay, I don't. I think I might have seen Big Daddy, but I don't. Wait, which one is that? I guess we'll find out. Is that the one where he's got a son?
Yeah, that's the one where the poster is them both peeing on a church door.
Oh, God. I don't want to see this man as a father.
It was nominated for 5
Oh.
Razzies, and Sandler won the Worst Actor category.
Oh no.
Jon Stewart's in this
Can we
movie?
just stay in the Waterboy?
Hang on, let's take a deep
I
breath,
can't
have a
believe
moment
you.
of silence. Stay in the Waterboy for a moment.
Hang on.
Oh yeah.
If there's anything the Evergreens came behind, it's drinking water. Yeah, that's basically it. I can't believe you don't know about Little Nicky though, but we'll get there when we get to the end of Big Daddy. Oh God. Maybe we do Big Daddy in person. Now that'd be probably hard to
It wouldn't be that
figure out,
hard.
but maybe.
Just a webcam stream.
Okay.
I can set that up.
Okay, well, maybe we'll be together for our suffering. For the
And me
next
the
one.
ukulele.
All right, Colleen Ballinger.
All right. Well, until next
time.
hydrate.
And make sure when someone shows you their boobies to say that you appreciate looking at them.
Yes, and when you tongue kiss someone for the first time, do not mention that it's your first time kissing with tongue. They literally will never stop bringing it up ever again.
Okay, bye!